since time immemorial. We acknowledge the sacred land on which the town of Moosonee operates within the lands protected by the Jade Bay Treaty, Treaty Number 9. We are grateful to have the opportunity to make decisions at this table that will impact our community. Be which.
For transparency, I'd like to remind everyone that this meeting is being recorded in accordance with the municipality procedures. In the event of emergency, please sit quiet in this room and use the main door.
Resolution 2026-102. Be resolved that this special council meeting come to order at 5:31 p.m. Present, Mayor Taylor, Councilor Tozer, Councilor Hunter, and Councilor McAfee. Absent is Councilor Ryder. She did notify us that she would be out of town. So could I have a mover for this resolution, please? Susan moves it, seconder, Carmen Tozer. Moved by Susan Hunter, seconded by Carmen Tozer. Any discussion open this special meeting? If not, all in favor. Opposed, carried. All right. Yes, it would be the agenda.
Resolution 2026 number 2026-103. Be it resolved that the agenda be accepted as presented / amended.
Are there any changes to the agenda in front of us? None, we will accept it as presented. Could I have a mover for this resolution, please? Carmen, seconder, Sabian, moved by Carmen Tozer, seconded by Sabian McAfee. And this special meeting is to do with the official plan amendment and zoning bylaw amendment for 158 Ferguson Road. Are there any questions or not? All in favor? Both carried. Disclosure of pecuniary interest. Are there any disclosure of pecuniary interest at this? That they want to declare for this meeting? No? Okay. Go on to a presentation delegation. I have and I'll speak of how this operates. Welcome. There is one public meeting called this evening in accordance with the Planning Act with respect to an application for an official plan amendment and zoning bylaw amendment. There are a few procedural matters that we must take care of at the outset. This public meeting is held in accordance with Section 17, 22, and 34 of the Planning Act, and notice was provided in accordance with the requirements of the Planning Act. If a person or public body does not make oral submissions at a public meeting or make written submissions to the town of Moosonee before the proposed official plan amendment is adopted and the zoning bylaw amendment is passed, the person or public body is not entitled to appeal the decision to the Ontario Land Tribunal. If a person or public body does not make oral submissions at a public meeting or make written submissions to the town of Moosonee for the proposed official plan amendment is adopted and the zoning bylaw amendment is passed, the person or public body may not be added as a party to the hearing of an appeal before the Ontario Land Tribunal unless, in the option of the tribunal, there are reasonable grounds to do so. I will now explain the purpose of this meeting tonight. The purpose of the public meeting is to inform the public of the details of the proposed official plan amendment and zoning bylaw amendment, and to provide the public with an opportunity to provide comment on the proposed application. The format of the public meeting is as follows. Patrick Towns from MHBC Planning, the town's planning consultant, will provide an explanation of the proposed applications. Next, the applicant will provide an overview of the application if they so choose. Next, the public will be permitted to provide comment on the proposed applications. All those who wish to speak to the proposed application will be given an opportunity to speak. Next, members of the council, we've given the opportunity to ask questions for clarification on the proposed application. And finally, the public meeting portion of tonight's meeting will be closed. If an individual wishes to receive notice of the decision on the official plan and zoning bylaw amendments, please record your name, address, and telephone number on the appropriate list provided by the clerk. I now declare this meeting to be a public meeting under section 17, 22, and 34 of the Planning Act to deal with the proposed official plan amendments and zoning bylaw amendment applications to permit the development of a commercial use on the subject property. I now will call on Patrick Towns, the planning consultant, to explain the intent and purpose of the proposed application. Patrick, you have the floor.
Great, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, everybody. It doesn't look like there's any members of the public here for the meeting this evening, and to that effect, there's been no written comments received from any members of the public in opposition or support of the application either. So I'll continue, just provide a brief overview of the application that's before you. It's not a total new application, to be honest. It was considered by council previously. And what the applications entail, there's an official plan amendment to redesignate the property from the industrial designation to the commercial designation. And the same thing goes for the zoning bylaw amendment to amend the property from an industrial zoning to a commercial zoning. So those are the two applications that are before you this evening. The official plan amendment application, it's not only the town that looks at that application, it also gets circulated to the ministry for their comments. And similarly to the last application, they provided some input on some recommendations that they would like to see if a decision was made on the application this evening in a positive manner. So in summary, the official plan amendment application and the zoning bylaw amendment application before you, from our standpoint, from a land use planning standpoint, it's just hard to support. The subject properties within an industrial area within the town, and there are limited areas within the town and established in your official plan for these types of uses. So with the designation being industrial, we as planners can't support it because there is a commercial use being proposed. There's other designation, what's referred to as your commercial core, which is a commercial area or even mixed use areas of your town, where the use would be more appropriate from a strictly designation perspective. Now, since the last application was submitted and denied by council, the owner and applicant, they have removed the residential dwelling component of the business. So now it's strictly a retail store to be used for the cannabis use. And again, the cannabis use is completely separate. There's a separate approval body for that aspect of the job or aspect of the proposed use. We're strictly treating it as a retail commercial use. So the residential use has been removed. There is a kitchen to be used associated with the business itself, but there is no residential use. The comments from the ministry that were received again are reflected in the recommendation of the zoning bylaw amendment for a holding symbol. If council was to approve the applications, the holding symbol would ensure that there's a noise and vibration study completed before building permits can be issued, and also a record of site assessment or site condition. And that's required from the ministry level to, number one, evaluate the use from a noise and vibration perspective due to the railway. And then the record of site condition is required because it's going from an industrial use to a commercial use. So that study would entail and investigate if there's any soils on the property that need to remediated through the exercise of that study. So again, we looked at it fulsomely with the resubmission. We recognize the residential use component has been removed. That's a good thing. we as professional planners can't recommend approval, but we do note there are other commercial uses in this area. As it stands today, those would be considered legal non-conforming uses, but there are commercial uses in this area. But we as a whole can't recommend approval, but council has the ability to make their own separate decision on the application. So in summary, there's been some changes made to the application. We can't support it on the basis that it's not in keeping with the direction of the official plan. But again, council has the ability to make their own decision this evening based on what they see on the street in the town and existing land uses and things like that. So I'll leave it with that. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to address those. I can see the owner and the agent are here as well, and they'll of course be provided with an opportunity to speak. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. We will go to, council to see if they have any questions for our planner. We'll start with Susan.
The only question I really had was relating to, it came across council before. And what was the reason? Can you share what the reason was why they didn't? Did it come across council this before?
Yeah, 2020.
No, the resident, the zoning.
Yeah, that was the piece though, it was the residential.
Not necessarily, I think it was also concerns raised with the increased amount of traffic to be expected and then that area. And it is further down towards, where the heavy equipment is parked. Stuff in right across from that rail first side.
Like go to like Billy Crawford's garage.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Beside it? Okay.
So they're getting down into a pretty heavy industrial area of town. I think that's, if I recall correctly, that was one of the main factors in this.
That was the only thing I was wondering about.
Counselor Dozier.
I've just stated the concerns that were raised last time. I still share them. I don't have any questions.
Counselor Napoli.
Don't really have any questions, but that's. You share some of those concerns. It's a secluded area.
So all we're dealing with here tonight, though, you have to remember, is the Planning Act and the zoning bylaw. So that's all right, if there are no more questions for Patrick, I will turn it over to the applicant, owner, representative to speak. We have one.
Yeah, they're here.
All right,
The name.
now we can't, screen's not clear, so we can't see it too clear, but the applicants have the
Dean
floor.
and Lizard. Dean and Lizard.
Dean, are you on?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Yeah, I'm here. Naz is on the line also, and Naz is the lead on this. We were assisting in the applications, and we went through, and I guess the big thing, guys, coming down to it, we purchased this land with Naz from Moosonee directly from the township, and it was fully known at the time when we were purchasing this property that we were planning on putting that store on that property. And I guess we've been a little bit frustrated, I would say, because we purchased the land to do this. But then when we went to go to do what we plan to do with this property, we were told we can't do it. So we went through that process the first time. We changed it to try and make it as best as we can. But we did purchase this from the township of Moosonee, not from somebody else, for this specific purpose. And I don't understand why you would sell it to us if you weren't going to allow us to build it there.
Again, we do have the zoning. And that's in town, when somebody purchased from us, actually, there should be some research of what kind of property, whether it's residential or what. Again, I don't know, I'm not gonna get into it, but, again, if it's zoned for commercial, then it's commercial. If it's zoned for industrial, it's industrial. If it's residential, residential. And, that's all I can say. It's like, when we look into it and find out what it is, then we have to act on it. Because as council members, we don't know what our staff does research and brings it to our attention.
And I just want to let you guys know that that's what we're looking at. So, alternatively, we still want to set up a store there, but alternatively, do you have other property that you can exchange with us that would be in a commercial area rather than an industrial area?
Hey,
And is that something that, council from Moosonee is willing to talk about? So because we are stuck with a piece of property now that we intended to put a cannabis store on, and it's now not available to us if you guys vote it down, which is fine. But we have to do some sort of recourse here and some sort of settlement on this because we have a piece of property that we can't do what we're planning to do, and it was sold to us by the township itself. So, if we can make something work on that side of it, it would be great.
okay, all I can answer on that again is, we'll have staff look into it.
That would be
Are there
great, guys, because it's just a little bit frustrating when we purchase it from the township and then you say you can't do what, and I know there's communication between Naz, who's on the call, and Naz, who did you actually deal with on that within?
At that time, it would have been the chief administrative officer. I believe his name was Jay, who is now no longer with the town. And they
He
would
was the
have, he would have
economic
taken,
development officer,
sorry,
Okay.
thank you.
Jay
And-
Montour, yeah.
And he would have taken it to, I believe council would have to approve the selling of land that would be owned by them or the mayor.
So, guys, we just want to get, if you can assist us in working something out, it would be great. And you need to vote what your minds are to vote, but if we can work something out, it would be great because otherwise we have to go after recourse, which we don't want to do at all. 0%. We want to
so-
develop in Moosonee, so.
I'd just like to say Jay was our economic development officer, it should went to the CAO. I don't know, again, I apologize if it didn't, but like I said, when they did go to the proper channel, we found out about something.
Yeah, so if you guys can look at that and vote how you need to vote today, I understand that completely. And I understand your planner and I understand the issues that you're identifying there with traffic. But we need to do something too, because we're investing in your community also, correct? So please let us know. We've had a building that we purchased 3 years ago that we have sitting on a lot for 3 years. So we'd like to actually turn that into making money rather than sitting there collecting dust at this point. So.
All right, I will have, our CAO and, her staff, look into what, if anything available, or what they can do, so, again, and they will bring
Perfect.
back.
Yeah, that's awesome, guys. Thank you. And we'll stay on for the vote, and your vote is your vote. Please vote as you see fit. So,
Okay, thank you.
okay, thank you.
Are there any questions? Well, I guess we'll get into that later with that. And now call on members of the public who wish to make comments on the proposed application. If you have comments on this application, please rise, state your name and address for the record. Please note that names and address of those individuals who speak at this meeting will appear within the meeting minutes, which are public documents. Are there any persons present who have comments on the proposed official plan amendment and zoning bylaw amendment? There's nobody in the office here, so I don't see any. Okay, so we'll go to council. Is there any further information which staff, sorry, I now call on members of the council. Are there any questions for clarification from council? Council Choser?
No.
No. Councilor Nackerty? Councilor Hunt? So there's no, council? Is there any further information which staff may wish to provide? Victoria, do you have any information you would like to provide?
I just know like Naz and I have been in communication since the last application. There was some alternate suggestions. I can tell you right now, the town does not have commercial property to be able to sell or exchange with you at this time that would be suitable for your retail store. So, I can just say that right now that we do not have that option available to us. So I just thought that information may be relevant to your vote. I'm not sure if it will be or not, but I just thought I would add that.
Public, any? All right. If there are no further questions or comments, I declare the public meeting closed. Thank you very much, and we'll put the resolution on the floor.
Resolution 2026 number 26-0104, be it resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the Town of Moosonee received the planning report for the official plan amendment and zoning bylaw amendment from Michael Del Puerto. Applications dated April 28, 2026 for information purposes, and that the council refused official plan amendment application number OPE 2026-07, and that the council refused zoning bylaw amendment application number CBA-2026-208.
I need to have a mover for this resolution, please. Fabian Nackerty moves it. Have a seconder. Stephen Hunter seconder. Is there any further discussions on this? All right. So, the council, you're going to have a recorded vote on this. So I will pass it back to Boblin, and she will go around the table and ask each counselor the yes or no, and it will be recorded.
Just to understand, yes means the amendment goes ahead, no means it does not.
Yes means you're refusing, no is you're not refusing.
Okay, that's right.
It's right on there. It says right on it. User.
Okay, so we are now officially opening the floor for voting on the official plan amendment and zoning bylaw applications. Who is in favor and against? First, Councilor Carmen Tozer, yes or no?
Yes to the refusal.
All right. Councilor Susan Hunter, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Sabian Akoji, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. And Mayor Wade, I suppose?
Yes.
Yes.
This recorded vote has been carried for the refusal of the official plan amendment and the zoning amendment. All right. So we need to vote.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
2020-105. Be resolved that this meeting adjourned at 5:53 p.m. We have a mover, please. Susan, seconder. Carmen. No discussion. We'll vote on closing this special meeting. All in favor? Opposed, carried.
Thank you. Do you have a last word for Patrick? Or no moving forward for everything?
Sorry?
Do you have any words for Patrick?
No, I just want to, Patrick, thanks for all your help. And we look forward to speaking with you again in the near future.
Thanks, everybody, and everyone stay safe with flooding and whatnot. Have a great evening and enjoy the rest of your meeting.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Take care.
Victoria, we're gonna have another link for the regular meeting. Okay.
Yeah, I'll join that link then.
Okay, thank you. See you.
See ya.